Hello all, I'm Christine the Sphinx, and I would like to welcome you to another groundbreaking episode of the Not So Silent Sisters. Today I'm joined as always by my little sister, the North Remembers, also known as Candace. Introduce yourself, Candace.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Not So Silent Sisters. Hi, Christina, K-A-K.
Also joined by our good friend, Alicia Kingston. Say hello.
Hello around the realm. Lovely to be here.
All right, so tonight we are going to be reviewing Episode 7 of Game of Thrones, The Broken Man. Excuse us all if we seem a little bit tired, because we are. We all three have jobs. We all three stay up late to watch Game of Thrones and talk about Game of Thrones and get up early the next day and go to work just to come home and talk about Game of Thrones some more, because we love it that much. Oh, I feel so lame. But anywho, Candace, I'll let you kick off. Let's you know how last time we did it by region instead of scene by scene? You guys think that's a good idea? A good idea. I think it goes smoother that way.
I'm flexible however you guys want to go.
Yeah, I think we can pull it off. There's a couple of things where it bounces around in a location, but I'll try to blend it.
Some things we can lump together, like we can consider the Quiet Isle stuff part of the Riverlands, you know, and everything involving the Starks can all just be north, you know, the north. So we can just kind of lump it together like that.
Okay.
So what shall we start with, Candace?
Opening scene, the Riverlands, the Quiet Isle. We open with the beautiful scenery of the Quiet Isle. We see the elder brother, slash Septon Marable, who I'm not sure if he ever said what his name was, but the internet said his name was Brother Ray. I don't know if that's what his character was actually named, but you know how they do that. So we see the Hound. We see the Hound come back. We see his little gimpy leg, and I think it was kind of interesting how he was carrying that log, so we kind of see that he's still strong. There was 4 men carrying the other log, and he was just like, it's with my leg. And that's pretty much the intro. So, do you want to stop there? I can't blend that with the other Riverland stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we'll just talk about Hound stuff. We'll just talk about that whole location first. I think that might be easiest. So,
okay.
Alicia, tell me your thoughts on. I don't want to call this a Quiet Isle. I don't know what it's called. Just tell me your thoughts on this random Riverland location.
Random Riverland location with the Hound and Septon such and such. I thought it was a good scene. It's always good when the Hound's around. I'm just waiting to see how many chickens he's gonna murk in the next episode we see him in, because he's thoroughly pissed off at the moment. That may be jumping ahead though, so I'll stop right there. No, keep going. Okay. What is it? The lemon cloak guy that was supposed to be in there? I didn't catch that. His cloak wasn't yellow enough for me. If it was a bright yellow, then maybe I would have caught that. But I don't know. I think that was a bit of a fail on the wardrobe department, which is surprising because they usually do very well with those things.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else? Ian McShane, I thought, was brilliant in that role, although I still think it was D&D wasting a really great actor with such a small, little, gimpy piece of... I can't. I'll cut it off right there. I can't.
Well, you can still have an epic one-off part, you know. I thought he did good for... You know, even in the books... Septon Marable and the elder brother, especially elder brother, I think he's only in like maybe 1 or 2 chapters. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. But
I think I'm just upset because I wanted more. And I really wanted the Broken Man speech. I was really, really, really hoping for that.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe someone else could give it, but if it goes past the next episode and we don't get it, then we won't be getting it at all.
After my initial disappointment and I sat around and like really thought about it, I was like, well, they couldn't do the Broken Man speech because it doesn't even fit. Like he says that speech to Podrick and Brienne, explaining to Pod what a broken man is. So I don't even know how they could have worked it
too.
Huh?
So I thought about that after, too, and I was saying, why didn't we get that speech? But I was like, wait, the people that it was given to weren't actually there yet. So if by chance there's some mingling with those characters again, then maybe someone else could give the speech then. But I don't know.
Well, David Adams in the chat said maybe Thoros of Mir could give it. That's a good option. I think
I was trying to remember. I was writing stuff down at my office, and I left my freaking pad in the office. So Thoros was one of the people that I put down, and maybe he'll give it to whoever. I don't know. Maybe he'll just be narrating, walking through the forest as he does. We shall see. But good thought, David.
Or they create some random character that he says it to who, like, does not even have a name or exist, and he's like, "What's a broken man?" And he says, "Well, let me tell you." And then we get the speech. I mean, as long as I get it and it's good, I really don't care who says it and who they say it to. But it has to be done right. Don't give it to me if it's not right. I'd rather just
sound like the Valkyrie, then you are losing.
He made it for everybody.
The first time, and I was like, holy crap. They need to get this guy for the show. He doesn't even have to have a part. Just let him speak and show some scenery or something. Show like the Hound's journey after he got found by the Septon, and have him say that role.
I listened to that video over and over and over again. Like, I love Valkyries. If you guys have not, am I saying it right, Valkyries? If you guys have not seen the Valkyries video on YouTube for the Broken Man speech, it's awesome. It's narrated by Valkyries. He has music playing in the background. It's just epic. It shows the full epicness of that speech. That's probably his video is what really made me really, really, really love the speech as much as I do. And he has like all the speeches. He's got The North Remembers. He's got Renly's Peach. Like everything. He's awesome. So Candace, thoughts on a random Riverland location?
Somewhere in Westeros. I loved it. I felt like there's these moments that happen from the books that I love to see play out on the show, and I think they did a really great job with it, especially being that they didn't have Brienne there to be told the story. I felt like I got the personality of the elder brother in Ian McShane, and that was, even though it was a short-lived role, it was great. He did a good job with it. He was kind of like cussing, and it's just nothing funner than a cussing man of the cloth. He's like, "Fucking, what the fuck was I supposed to say?" So while we didn't get the Broken Man speech, I love that he totally had a therapy circle. Did anybody realize that he was having a session? So we got so much in that little bit of the Quiet Isle / Anywhere USA, Anywhere Westeros. He had the therapy circle. He talked about the ways of war and the bad actions that a soldier makes in war. He talked about his own things that he regretted, that he still, has nightmares about. And he still dropped, I think, instead of having the speech to Brienne, it was kind of like he was having a version of it to the Hound himself to get him on his way away from there to whatever his next spot is. He said it was never too late to stop killing and start helping people, and never too late to come back. So that was a really nice. They really pulled together a lot of feelings in that short time. The people were looking around; they were all kind of on the mend, and it was sad how it ended. The Brotherhood rolled up, and I didn't realize if that was Lem Cloak. I was trying to put people together from the last time we saw the Brotherhood, and none of them were familiar. So I agree with Alicia. I wish they had identified something or somebody called somebody their name, but it probably doesn't matter. Apparently we're supposed to think the Brotherhood are murderous people, which was confusing to me because I felt like that was more the Bloody Mummers plot line. But anyway, the ending was great. The Hound goes back there and he's pissed. And I'm like, yes, the Hound is about to start kicking some ass. He's not fully recovered, he's not fully pious, but he might be better. And he's obviously still strong, so I'm looking forward to that. And that's kind of all I got out of that scene.
And another point that I wanted to make is I really think that they did this good. They did good, D&D, with making the Septon that the Hound comes into contact with being a cussing, laid-back type dude. Because if he would have ran into some holier-than-thou, pious Maester Pycelle type person or something like that, or even the High Sparrow, like the Hound wouldn't have heard that message the way that he did. So I really, really like that they went that route and made this Septon like barely a Septon. Like he barely passes the line of Septonism, and nobody even remotely different than that could have connected with the Hound. So I like that. And I also like how they showed that he was still strong, really capable. Even with his little gimp, he's strong as hell. And just when he thought it was safe to be relaxed and chill, everybody gets killed. And he's like, you know what? I knew this world was just as effed up as I always thought it was, and I'm over trying to pretend like it's not. Now the question is he going to show up in King's Landing and actually try to help the Faith?
Say that again?
Is he going to show up in King's Landing and try to help the Faith?
I don't know about that one. Are you trying to hit towards the Clegane Bowl hype that's going around? I'm not on the train.
I'm not on that train either. I'm not.
Yeah, me either. I don't. I agree. I don't see him going to help the Faith. He's not getting into that. He's not buying what they're selling. He might be like a little less down on himself for the crap he's done, but I can't see him even caring to hear what the High Sparrow has to say or wanting to fight the Faith with the Faith unless he just wants to go against the crown. So right now they're kind of like 2-1, and he's already said fuck the king. It ain't happening. I'm sorry. I don't think so.
I just can't make it work. I can't try to. At first in my mind, before this episode, I was like, okay, so if it does happen, it's because he's traveling with Elder Brother / Septim Meribald, and somebody takes him to King's Landing and convinces him or promotes him to the High Sparrow as a warrior that they can use. But if him on his own, willy-nilly, I don't know. I mean, he hates the crown. We know that. He fuck the king.
I don't think he'll be anywhere near King's Landing if it's left just up to him.
Yeah, I can't. I can't see Clegane Bowl. People are gonna hate me for that. I'm sorry, guys. And we all three don't buy it.
And there goes Jerry. Hi, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Grimnar, Moji, Jamie Sneed. Everybody's they lit up in there. I got a crazy.
The gang's all here.
I know. All right.
He's all here.
Oh, I have a question. From the Peanut Gallery. From Cody Griffith. Q&A. Did the High Sparrow quote about women love common fruits have anything to do with the Hound? Do you guys remember that? It was kind of subtle.
I didn't even catch that quote. Say that again?
So if somebody can grab me that quote and give me the actual words, we can look at it a little bit closer. But in the question he says, did the High Sparrow's quote about women love common fruits have anything to do with the Hound? It was something when he was talking to Marjorie and she was reading that passage, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Cody, maybe you can give us some more insight on that and we can try to really figure it out. Because I don't know, I didn't catch that connection. I'd have to read it again and look at it again. Anything on that?
Okay. No, that's a great question, but I don't remember that quote. I wish I could add something to that, but I'll have to see what exactly it was. I thought I did a detailed kind of note taking of what they said, but I must have missed that, and then the little banter about the verse itself. Do we want to go into King's Landing now? That's a good segue.
Huh?
I believe that's next.
Yeah. All right. So we go into King's Landing, and Marjorie is sitting there with a good book and her head down, playing the hell out of the game, in my opinion. And she puts her head up, and she's rocking her crown. So that was a kind of like, oh, snap, she did it. She got back in there, and she kind of basically convinced this dude that, yeah, she's buying what he's selling. He asked her about her sex life. Again, I'm skipping past the part where they said something about verses, and that must be where this fruit statement came in. But, she gives him the little verse about a wife being something to her husband. And he's like, yes, I got her. And he's like, can I speak to you about something personal? And he starts asking her why she's not boning Tommen. And I did not see that coming. I guess I want to kind of break this up a little bit. What did you guys think about that? Alicia?
Sorry, distracted by the idiot that's in the chat room.
It's all right. I'm taking care of it.
Yeah, can you repeat that, Candace? I apologize.
Yes, I sure can. Yes, I sure can. I was talking about him asking Marjorie if he could talk to her about something personal, and he brings up the fact that she hasn't shared the wedding bed with Tommen, and he says, the king must have an heir if we're to continue our good work. And so I don't really understand his motive there, but then he quickly jumps into the Queen of Thorns, which I thought it was funny that he called her the Queen of Thorns. I don't know if anybody else thought that was odd, that he would say her kind of derogatory, jokey name instead of Lady Olenna or your grandmother, but he's instantly disrespecting her.
Well, yeah. Why he used her nickname? Which, I mean, it's a well-known nickname, so obviously he would know it. But why is Tommen going and crying to Grandpa about not being able to get none? I'm sorry. As soon as I heard him say that, I was like, exactly what type of conversations does Tommen really think is okay to speak with people outside of his immediate family? Like, why would you do that? Are you really that dumb, Tommen? I was hoping just a little bit that maybe he did have some type of plan going into all this, but no, it's just typical Tommen. Can't get none, so he's gonna cry. His mom got shamed. He doesn't know what to do, so he's gonna cry. I'm like, just come on with this kid. Can we just move Cersei's story along and off this dude so she can get out of here too? That may sound harsh, but I'm done with crybaby Tommen. I can't.
Hey, Jamie Sneed just nailed it. He said Tommen needs a father figure. He does. He's never had one.
True enough. But he's not the High Sparrow, though, man. He's got to make better choices.
Tommen has daddy issues. He's like, Daddy wasn't there to take me to the fair.
Seems he doesn't care. Daddy, y'all know about that Austin Powers. Daddy wasn't there. But he has daddy issues, but he doesn't even know he has daddy issues. Like, he's latched on to Marjorie in such a way.
Hold on, Sphinx. I'm sorry. Bro,
I got it.
If it's really that big a deal, why the fuck you keep coming around our set, man? Roll out. Nobody has time for that bullshit. Sorry, my bad. Stupid people annoy me.
Yeah. He's coming in with his multiple accounts again. So, Chris, are you trying to block as we go? We'll just keep on moving past it.
You guys keep going. I'm sorry. I have to work on getting this taken care of. You can go on and move it, Candace.
Okay. Alicia, so the last note we were talking about was him saying Queen of Thorns. I thought that was it was a really good realization that he's starting to slip up on his little ruse. He feels some kind of way about certain people and it's starting to come out. And he thinks that he's close enough with Marjorie that he can tell her that he fears for, he basically threatened her grandmother to her face. I fear for her person and her spirit, or whatever he said. So I can't wait to see him kind of get caught up in this, and I can't wait to see her stick it to them. And that stupid Septa Unilla.
Yeah, I think that was a total mask slip for him. Like, he specifically called her, and it wasn't even a very clever threat at all. It was clear to see exactly what he was doing. And I question why he felt the need to do that. I mean, granted, the Queen of Thorns is a very powerful woman, yes, a very strong woman, but what threat does he really think she can pose? Because she has one of the two things she wants, and that's her granddaughter out of the dungeons. Once he lets Loras go, which I'm pretty sure Marjorie's already working towards, Queen of Thorns isn't going to care about what he's doing too much, as long as it's not really affecting her family. And technically, at the moment, it really isn't. It's affecting the crown, which is more on Tommen than anything. But I don't know. He's getting rid of his core enemies, it seems. Like, Cersei's been handled, well, neutralized, not completely handled yet. And the Queen of Thorns, she's about to be out. I don't know. I'm still trying to see what this man's complete end game is going to be.
I think he got rid of. Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Kim.
Go ahead.
I just came back.
I was just going to say that I think that he's trying to get her back for rolling up on him like that at the steps. He's like, I got something for you. You want to pull up in your little litter? I got something for you, Grandma.
Yep, good call. You're probably right on that.
That's literally what I was going to say just now. I was going to say that the Queen of Thorns pulled up on him. She got the army. Everybody knows who runs the Tyrells. It's not Mace. So when that army showed up at his steps, he was like, okay, I already had a backup plan, whatever, but you got to go. Or I'm putting you in jail. You can't be around here because you are bound to, like, literally bring in all of your troops and try to fight me, and no, that can't work. So I'm going to use my little weapon that I've created in your granddaughter to get you out of here. And all it took was a simple conversation, and she's gone. And the queen was out. She was like, at first she was like, I'm not leaving Loras, because he knew she would not leave until Loras was free. He is their house. All the little spermies in his little sperm sacs, they need those spermies to make more Tyrells, because nobody else can make them now. So he knows that. So he was like, she has to go. And using Marjorie, I don't say using Marjorie. He is using Marjorie, but Marjorie's also using him. It's like a dual usage.
I question whether he actually sees what Marjorie's doing, because I think she legit has him fooled. I thought he was a little bit smarter than that. I thought he was playing a few steps ahead of the game, but it doesn't seem that way. With Tommen, he's got that in the bag, but Marjorie, I don't think he's used to someone with the skill level that she's at. Like, Cersei came in thinking that she was there, and she clearly was not. And that just makes me jump to Lady Olenna and her speech, so I'm going to stop before I jump ahead.
Hey, jump around, feel free. That speech was awesome. If you know me or have seen me on anything, you may know how I feel about two particular women in these series. One of them is on the positive side of the scale, and her name is Sansa Stark. And the other one is the complete negative 25,000 million trillion on the scale, and that's Cersei Lannister. I hate that bitch. I'm sorry, I cussed. I hate her, though. So to see Olenna read her like that and just lay it, I was
absolutely perfection in that. I love the Queen of Thorns. Since she came on the set, she's been one of my favorite characters, and every time she is on the screen, I know I'm gonna get 100% of a great scene with her being there. It's I love her. She's awesome. Sorry about my fangirl moment. I apologize.
That's fine. That was the next part. If you want to get into and give the overview of it, Alicia was going to talk about how she called Cersei out and was like, "You did all this," and what Cersei's face and her little throat ball swallow. She was just stuck on stupid. So I loved it too. I was just sitting there like, get him. We kind of skipped over Marjorie giving her the slip of the note. What did you guys think about that? That's pretty smooth, right? Like, growing strong, grandmother. She
pretty much
that little
do. And she did it well.
Yeah.
I still think what's her name, Unella might have still seen a little something though. She was looking a little, like she was suspect of what was going on when they were so close to each other. But meh.
Yeah, I was so excited about that because I knew what Marjorie was doing, but I was like, oh, Lady Olenna doesn't know. She doesn't get it. She's like, what have they done to you? They've changed you. And she's like, Scepter, Unella, I'm going to kick your ass when I see you in the streets and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. And, in my head, I'm like, it's all okay. It's all a plan. And when she looked her in the eyes and she was like, leave, and then slipped her the note, then Olenna was like, okay, I'm going home. And bounced and was out. You didn't have to tell her twice. She went back to the house. She was writing notes, look, I'm leaving, sending ravens, pack my stuff. She said, hey, Marjorie told me to leave and let me know with this little note that she's still Marjorie, and I know my baby knows what she's doing because I've raised her up to be another little me. She's even better than her, as Olenna says. So I really actually got that was like a really exciting little moment for me. I don't know, because I really love the Tyrells and I really love Marjorie. So I and Elena. So I like that whole little look. I got this, Grandma. Go home. We're good. And Grandma bounced.
Yeah, I loved it. Elena called an Uber. She wrote a note. She was like, I'm out. Have my bags packed. And Cersei, I feel like when Cersei had that moment when she basically told her that you have no one, it's you and thousands of people and everybody hates you. Cersei's about to go crazy. She had these crazy eyes. That was the beginning of Cersei's crazy eyes, in my opinion. She don't have nothing to lose. She sent Jaime away, or Tommen did, and as far as we know, he's never coming back. Who knows how this is going to turn out? And I love it. I'm like, go crazy, Cersei, because I can't wait to see your downfall just totally happen. She's gonna, what they call that, grow undone. I can't think of the term for that one book I love, but that's her. She's unraveling. And when y'all are ready, the North is the next part.
I think Alicia stepped away, so
okay.
We can go ahead and move over to the North.
Okay. All right, so we get the wildlings telling Jon the agreement was to fight with the White Walkers, not to fight basically their battles. There seemed to be a big theme about people saying this is not our battle, and they were the first ones to say it. Like, you told us if we come down here, we have to fight against the dead. You didn't tell us we have to fight your stupid southern battles. And Jon's kind of unsure of himself, but then he gives a good speech, a decent little speech where he says the Boltons, the Karstarks, and the Umbers know that you're here, and they're coming for you. So if you don't help me, I'm just a roadblock to them wiping you guys out. They hate wildlings. So he's like, remember why, I helped you. That's why I helped you. So I thought that was really good. And Tormund jumps in, tries to give him a little hype man. He's like, he died for us, which is so true. That should be the first thing they think about. He totally died for them. Came back and still trying to help them and get them to back him up a little bit. And then I love that one jumped in and was like, no. So that was the synopsis of the first little bit of their northern kind of trying to gather bannermen. And what'd you think about it?
Alicia, I'll let you go first or next.
No, go ahead, because I missed.
Oh, you missed it, right?
It sounded all like Megatron to me just now. So go ahead, and I'll jump in at the end.
Okay. Yeah, the way Jon was like letting him know, like, look, I know this is not what we agreed to, because they were like, yeah, we said we would fight for you, but when the White Walkers came, not because you want to take back your castle. Like, that's not what we came down here for. And, the combination of Tormund and Jon's words to them, it was like the perfect things to say. Like, okay, so yeah, it's not your fight, so what do you think's going to happen to you when they're done with me? I'm the one that protected you, and I was the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, and I'm not that anymore. So how else can I protect you now? He didn't say these words, but to me that's what the meaning was behind them. It was, look, you need to help me take back Winterfell so I can help you stay here. Because if we don't have control of that, once they're done with me, they're coming for you, just like he said. And I was like, good, Jon, good point. And then, Tormund Giant Bane, Tormund gives his epic, words, and I really appreciated that. Like, he died for us. He died for us. But do you guys find it weird, like, nobody seems to be surprised that Jon died and came back from the dead? It's just like, oh, he died. Like, they just talk about it. Like, we haven't seen anybody be really, like, shaken up by it that wasn't there when it happened. Like Sansa, Brienne, people just show up and they're like, oh, yeah, Jon was dead and he's back now. And they're just like, well, yeah, he did die. That's true. Mm-hmm. Candace, did you pick up on that? Like, nobody seems to care.
I picked up on it. I'm sorry. I'm over here cracking up. I picked up on it when Sansa arrived at the wall, and she was the first person that was kind of unenthused about it. And I was like, did we miss the shocking reveal? I kind of, the wildlings are a little bit unaffected. They're kind of like jaded New Yorkers, like in that sense that violence and crime doesn't shock them as much as like somebody in a country town. They've seen magic. They got wildlings. They got giants. I mean, not wildlings, but all these different things beyond the wall that I don't think they're as surprised as the dead. And they've seen the dead coming after them. So maybe resurrected people isn't so shocking to that group. Apparently, but it was like they were super unimpressed, and that was weird. It was like, come on, man, are you kidding me? Like, you're playing him like he just got here, and y'all have no history. Like, he didn't get his life on the line, literally lose his life for that. So, and that was like, anybody else notice that it's like Tormund's uncle? Like, he was like a redhead old cat.
He did look like he could be his uncle. I was like, they must be family. They must be related. But yeah, 1-1 standing up, he was like, look, I'm going to be the one. I'm just going to call it Snow. Boom. Drop the mic and walk off. And they're just like, girl. Go ahead.
Yeah, Reaper just mentioned in the chat that was the same way that 1-1 stood up and said Tormund when they were at Hardhome Reed and was like, I'm on their side. Like, he understands the language, but he doesn't speak it. So he kind of got what they were saying. He's always sitting back watching, and he's the first one to make the decision. Impacts the wildlings following him. Did you notice that?
I don't remember him saying Tormund.
I do believe he did in like that big old shelter they were in Hardhome before. And when he remember when the whites came over the hill, they jumped over the roof and.
But in that episode, he was not speaking the common tongue at all. They had subtitles for him. Remember? Like
I don't remember, but I feel like that happened. I could be wrong, but I feel like either he said it in the subtitle or.
When the Night's Watch was looking at him, remember he was like, "What the F are you looking at?" Except he said it in the old.
I love that part. No, he said, "The fuck you looking at?" That just made it funny. It was like, "The fuck you looking at?" Oh, gangster.
I love 1-1 so much. I hope he.
Me too.
He did.
Okay.
Confirmation in the chat. Don the Kraken. He did say Tormund though. Okay, I have to. I just didn't remember that. But okay, so he.
Thank you.
I mean, honestly, are you going to go to the team that 1-1 doesn't go on? Like, if 1-1 says he's going that way, then we're like, well, I guess we got to go that way. The Giants going over there, so we want to be on that side. I can't wait to see him like, and
in the door waving the 4-4.
Y'all like.
Also, there was a touching kind of, I don't know if you caught Tormund's eyes, 1-1's eyes when they were talking about how the wildlings, the free folks, are people. And I feel like there was a moment where 1-1 was looking down like, I know what that feels like. He's the last of the Giants as far as we know. Reminiscent, just reminded me of like how bad Hardhome and that season was where they lost big homie, taking down the wall. That was sad.
I thought they lost the big homie at the attack on the wall.
That's what I just said. At the wall.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Since we have not got Alicia back yet, let's see. Any more thoughts on the North that I can think of? Oh, Lyanna Mormont!
Fair Island is next, man. That little kid is my freaking dream daughter. Oh, first of all, the scene, wasn't it beautiful? The Bear Island itself with that water cascading down and forest looking. Nothing like I pictured, way better than I even imagined. I just pictured this poor desolate land, but it was really nice. That kid has gumption. It was like her letter did not do her justice. Santa's little comments about being pretty. I hear all that stuff. John's like, I knew your grandfather, and she's like, let's cut the small shit. Like, what do you want? But she's like, I don't have time for this. I'm lady of the house. I've been ruling through all this bullshit your family started. What do you want? She rolls into, they roll into trying to convince her, but then they find out that, they find out they're failing, and they just shut up. Sansa and Jon are clearly not politically strong. They've been swaying people for years now. That dude's game is strong as being a right-hand hype man. So he steps in, and he talks about how Jeor Mormont, I think he approaches it more in a logical, motivational way instead of Jon and Sansa kind of like, you owe this to my house. So Braavos really killed it, and she goes, go on. And I love how he told her it's a new house. It's a small house. There's no point in asking your maester about it. Between him and Bronn of the Blackwater, people will be trying him all the time. Like, what the hell is a C word? Like, Banner. Hey, Alicia, you back?
I think so.
Welcome back.
What did I miss?
So we're talking about Lyanna Mormont and the convincing Braavos in that scenario. That's where we left off.
Yay, I didn't miss the good part. Okay.
Nope. So I left off with Braavos just kind of telling her there's no point in asking your maester about my house. It's kind of a new house. And he's like, but that's beside the point. That's neither here nor there. So what did you guys think about that scene? I loved it. I feel like I waited my whole life to see that scene play out.
Yeah, yes, I agree. Lyanna Mormont gets all the awards, every award that I could possibly give to anyone. She is my favorite new Lord of the North, Lord, Lady, whatever. I think she's brilliant. I mean, everything you put into thought, everything that we know about Mage Mormont and just the Mormont family in general and how awesome they are, their history with the Starks, and you get to this little girl named after Lyanna Stark, one of the most baddest chicks in the North, and she is like Lyanna reincarnated. Like she's the little sister that Arya should have had. Nothing against Sansa, don't smack me for that, Sphinx. Just saying, they probably would have gotten along quite nicely. Just yeah, Lyanna, she spit flames, everything that came out of her mouth. Brilliant.
Those two probably shouldn't hang out. It's like the two kids that you need to like not let hang out because they're just gonna like completely wreck stuff. Even though they'd be epic together, but I can only imagine Arya and Lyanna Mormont. But I was
sword fight.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Against their father's better wishes, they'd be like, forget that. We don't want any Quintons and wooden swords. We're kicking ass. Like, we're warriors.
Yeah, I really appreciated this. Like, we haven't seen that in the books. I don't even know if it's going to happen. Well, maybe it will. But it was really, really fun. To me, when I watched the inside the episode stuff, it seemed like something that they made up, D&D made up. The way they were talking about it, they were like, we thought this would be fun or this would be cool to see. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be canon, but it was super awesome. And she was super epic. And like when he first got the letter from her, the note saying that the House Mormont only knows one king in the north whose name is Stark, I initially thought because she was so young that was written by like a maester or somebody and she just signed it the way Tommen signs off on everything. And so to see that, no, that's actually her. She's actually a little fiery she-bear, and like she don't play. I was like pleasantly surprised, like, okay, Lyanna Mormont, you really are about it as a little girl. And correct me if I'm wrong, was she not on the battle, like the army camp? She was there.
Out there with her men. She was out there with her little 4-foot tall self, with her ravens, watching her 62 men prepare for battle, who she said were stronger, as strong as for every man, every island man is 10 mainlanders. I freaking love that, man. I've been obsessed with the Mormont women, and we did not get her aunt and her mother in the show too much. They were barely in the Red Wedding, which you didn't even realize who they were, and that pissed me off a lot once I read the book. So I think D&D owed us to show this house and the powerful women in this house firsthand, and not just from the stories of secondhand. We saw Sansa basically get played by a little girl who was like, I don't care about being pretty, you fucking idiot. And I'm not calling Sansa an idiot, but I think that's what Lyanna was thinking. She's like, I don't have time for these little castle games. I'm not trying to grow up and be pretty. I'm tough.
I do not call Sansa an idiot.
I was expecting Lyanna to go like strike up a conversation with once they actually get together, because that just seems like immediately that's who she would zone in on and try to go talk to him about, I don't know, whatever a 10-year-old could talk to a giant about in Westeros. But I think they would be really good friends. Like one would just look at her and like pat her on the head like, oh, cute little she-bear.
Well, did you guys have anything else to say about Lyanna? Because I was about to move on to House Glover.
Whoever was next, I'm ready. I'm ready for you. Go ahead.
These dang Glovers, man, they let me down. Grr, they let me down. And I'm hoping this is just set up for House Manderly. But these Glovers, I mean, I get it. I know what Rob did. Damn it, Rob. He, like, messed up a lot of stuff. more than just for what he was fighting for. Like, he messed up stuff years and years after his own death. People are still pissed about what he did. And I'm not just talking about Freys. We have Glovers like Karstarks. People are mad. It's carrying over, and that's a problem. And that sucks so much because Robb was trying to do his best. And now his sister and his brother are trying to do their best. And they can't. They're getting resistance because, you know, of the mistakes that he made. And everything that Glover said to her, I was just like, damn it. It's all true, and I'm so mad that it's true. It makes sense. He's being completely justified in how he feels right now and what he's saying. Because when it was time to call the banners, their family went. And we all know what happened. And now he's like, no. And I was just like really disappointed. Not disappointed because it was true. I was disappointed just like, damn, like those repercussions are still present, you know, in this day. Candace?
Yeah, I was first like this asshole, and then as he started talking, I was reminded of the sacrifices that the Northern Bannermen made for House Stark. And that was pretty messed up. Robb was a boy. I give him that he was a young boy and he's just dealing the hand he was dealt, you know, trying to do the best he did. But he was really wrong for breaking up that alliance, and it impacted everybody. And I actually like had to step back from being pissed, and I was like, dang, he's right. Like, he has nothing left. All of his subjects, he said, were just, you know, basically raped and pillaged and abused, and his daughter and children and wife put in jail. And he just got the castle back 5 minutes ago. So he was like, do you really think I'm about to go back to war? And you're a Snow, and you're like a Bolton Lannister. I don't know where the hell you've been. Like, I kind of had to understand that. And I was like, hey, you win some, you lose some. This dude's burned out. Broken man. Like, this theme just kept flowing through. There is not an exhaustive amount of soldiers and people that are just willing to fight and take their men and even their green boys out over and over for someone else's cause, is what it always feels like. Like, what are we fighting for today? So I had to empathize with the Glovers, and when they walked off and he got in Sansa's face, I was just like, dang, she couldn't say anything back, and I was glad they just left it alone. How about you, Alicia?
I agree. The one beef I'll really hold over Glover is I think he looks a little too much like Craster, but that's really neither here nor there. But everything that man said was true. Sadly, I really can't fault him for how he feels. I mean, yes, the Northmen are supposed to be, you know, fiercely loyal and all that, but, well, they were, and Robb kind of fucked everybody over. You know, that's what happens when you think with your wangs too quickly sometimes. I really can't say I fault any of them. I truly can't.
I thought it was funny, too, that he said that, you know, King Robb was with a foreign whore. I think he called her a whore, basically. And that was a funny twist because in the books, she was a Westerling and she wasn't foreign. And I thought that was interesting that they played on that change in the show. Could have been a little bit of the reason for the change in the show, too, to make it more of a diss. Like, not only did he break the treaty, the agreement that he had, which helped us win or was going to help us have a certain amount of soldiers, he did it with a foreign person. So what kind of betrayal is that supposed to feel for the Northerners to feel? They're just like, you stepped out with this random chick who to us is beneath us, and you caused my family to die. Like, you caused all this animosity with the Freys, which resulted in death, and now your family's still, I mean, they can't help what Robb did, but he had a good point. Your brother threw me over. Why do you think I want to fight for you two?
Agreed.
So, yeah, he dropped knowledge on him, and I was just like, damn. Can't say nothing to that, buddy. Go back in your castle. Sorry we bothered you.
That's why they couldn't say anything. They just stood there like Davos couldn't even fix that, like, for real.
Right. That's what I was thinking, like,
you're screwed.
I was thinking they should have called Davos and he could have got the job done, but then I'm rethinking, like, no, he couldn't.
He might have came in and said something like, I lost my sons at the Blackwater, and I still fought for the true king because he knew the dead were coming. But Glover would have been like, fuck that shit. I'm out of here.
Shout out to Tony Teflon. Hey, Tony. Sup,
Tony.
Teflon a done. Baby.
Tony. with a TH, Thony. So,
Thony.
continuing on.
Sorry.
It's okay, go ahead.
So the next piece of the North was, I want to know what you guys think about this, because I think we're getting the beginning of the seeds of Sansa disagreeing with her brother. She has a nerve. I don't think, you got to bear with me on this. It was not smart of her to try to him about Davos. I think that is a very immature moment of her and showing her lack of experience in these matters. But she was dissing Davos, like, I can't really understand how she doesn't trust him. And even when Jon said he's the reason I'm here, like, this dude knows what he's doing. He's seasoned. And she's like, oh, he got his 62 men. But you were in there begging for those 62 men. And you need them. If it was 5 of them, you need them. So I love that she went in, I think, called the Veil. But I hate that she's going against Jon in a way that I think might make them rivals. I hope not. I hope it's just going to be like, see, I told you I could help. And not like I hate what you're doing, and so I'm going to go off and do my own thing. So what did you guys think about that discourse in there when they were watching people fight amongst themselves?
I don't think that means they're going to be rivals. I think this was just a bad writing version of trying to give Sansa a reason to write Littlefinger. Like, she didn't have to be all, like, the stuff she said, that was just, it really didn't even make sense. Like, it was really stupid. Just, oh, so you trust him? And he's like, didn't I tell you how I got resurrected? You know, oh, but he only got his 62 men. We were all there to get, like, it didn't make sense. And it was, I'm blaming writing. This may be the first time I've ever actually said that. But I am, because it was just stupid. Like, it, on the trajectory that we have her on, I don't see why she would complain about getting 62 men when she knows that every man is important. And if it had not been Davos speaking up for them, they would not have had any of those 62. So just, like episodes ago, she's like, it's okay, there's more important things. She's showing all this maturity and growth, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, so you trust him? Oh, all he did was this. It was just stupid to me, and it kind of just irritated me. I didn't catch it the first time, and James Bichelle, like, brought it up to me, and so when I went back and rewatched it today, I made sure I paid attention to that, and I was like, that's just dumb. It really just makes no sense. It was dumb, and it was something to catapult her into feeling desperate enough to write to Peter, I think. Alicia, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Sansa needed to have several seats when it came to that scene. I mean, why she felt that type of way about Davos, I really don't know, because that 62 men that you have was 62 stronger than you came in with. So why fault this man? You should be shaking his hand and congratulating him for still being on the team. He didn't have to do anything that he did with Jon, but he saw something in him just like Stannis did, and he pulled through for him. I mean, your brother's walking next to you now because of Davos. So, what the frack? It doesn't make sense. It's like they're giving her a character, letting her take 2 steps forward, only to take like 10 steps back. The flip-flopping is ridiculous. We're supposed to be long past that now. This is supposed to be what Sophie Turner called Sansa's badass, boss-ass bitch season. I'm not seeing that yet. The one good scene she had was when she cussed Littlefinger out. That was about it. Oh, here we go again with this idiot. But anyway, yeah, that's how I felt about that. Sansa needed to fall back a little bit and just be done with that nonsense.
I'm sorry, I have to handle this again. But Candace isn't here to say the next area that we were going to talk about. I'm sorry, I'm completely distracted by this. I have to get this guy out of here.
I think people will understand. We'll just be a second, guys.
What were we talking about? I mean, what's the next thing that we're...
Candace is back.
All right, guys, sorry, had to let the dog back in.
Candace, we have a slanderer. I have to go fix it, so I'll be back.
Get that fool. Okay, moving on. We will not give them more energy on the video. So we finished talking about Sansa's alleged knowledge dropping. So we go back to the Riverlands. Jamie marching on River Run. My first moment here, I'm a super fan, probably more visually than content. That's okay. And Bronn shows back up. I freaking miss Bronn's sarcasm and the fact that he like gives the Lannister shit. So that opening scene was like, although I'm not pro Lannister, I always love seeing like the soldiers marching and all the gear and the way they do it. So what do you think about that, Alicia?
I'm not an extreme Bronn fan, but I do love his one-liners. They're hilarious. Any scene that Bronn is in, he's gonna come with something that's gonna have me doubled over laughing. I mean, when Jamie started going off into his Lannister, oh, don't even fucking say it. Like, I've heard that how many times, and I'm wondering, have the Lannisters paid him yet? I don't know. I mean, we saw he got some nice clothes and he was engaged for a little while, but seems like all that is gone now. He's back in the same uniform that he was in when we met him with Tyrion. So I don't know. Bronn's
probably. Yeah, they did him, but they didn't give him. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they knighted him. I think that's all he got so far out of the deal.
That's right. Yeah, poor Bronn. He's probably so pissed now that he decided to travel with Tyrion and do the combat battle for him. I don't know. Hopefully he does get something good out the deal, but you know, knowing Game of Thrones, he's probably gonna die at some point soon.
Yeah, you may be right about that. I think Sphinx is still working on something, so we'll keep moving on.
Yep.
So we get the Frey siege, which was extremely whack. I did like that. Again, it was a lot like the books where they were threatening to hang Edmure. Poor Edmure, he just strung out. His life is just in ruins. And the Blackfish is a G. He didn't give a shit. He was just like, I don't care. Like, he's up there on the battlements, like, again. I think I'm over this. If I cared, I would have kind of just, gave in last time you guys did this shit. So I just love that. And then he walks off and he's like, go on then, cut his throat. I love that dude. He's a boss. I didn't really get how tough the Tullys were in the show. They do it justice in the books, but they really brought it with that. So did you love that part?
Yeah, that and the Lyanna Mormont scene are both tied for #1 for my favorite scenes of this episode. Blackfish had absolutely zero fucks to give. Zero. I mean, just you could tell just from the look on his face. It's like they didn't know who they were dealing with. I mean, he already took back the castle, so apparently they had the castle. He came in with his people, took it back, kicked them out. They went running home to Dad. Dad wasn't trying to hear that shit, and now they're out there again. Like, you already know this man isn't gonna care. He did all that shit when y'all had Edmure in the dungeon already. He probably wrote him off as dead right after the Red Wedding. He's not worried about Edmure. And the fact that you didn't do shit, you just kept threatening him, then you took the noose off, you put the knife to his throat and still kept talking, that man already knew you weren't going to do a damn thing. I mean, like he said, that's his home. He's going to fight for that until he does not have an ounce of strength or any life left in his body. He's not going to just let it go. Surrender? No, I don't see that happening.
I totally agree. That dude was like, I was born here, I'm going to die here. I got 2 years of freaking provisions. What do you have? And he's just basically a bad mofo. I love that dude. And he's definitely going to come out on top. I'm sure of it. Jamie played off. He got all pumped up because he bitched at the Frey, and that was hilarious when he bitch slapped him. I think he bitch slapped with the gloved hand, too, with the faux hand, so that was even funnier. So he gets his, I think he's all hyped up and big in the chest, and Blackfish is like, I just came down here to take a measure of you, and I'm not impressed. And I love that part, because I think Jamie was just like, oh, okay.
Jamie's face after he said that was just classic. Like, you saw how much that really hit home for Jamie. He was like, fuck. Like, this great man that you could tell he had respect for. That's why he wanted to talk to him first instead of just, sending troops up. And Blackfish, again, was not having it at all. Man, that's the freaking phrase, man. That, like Jamie said, they were able to walk up on him 8,000 men deep, and nobody did a damn thing. Like, even when they got up to the camp before they got to the two Freys that were supposed to be in charge, their soldiers were just walking around, just staring at them, not asking questions, trying to block their way, nothing. And that just didn't make sense. Like, what kind of war are you guys waging? Like, they want so much respect, these Freys. They think that they're not supposed to kiss anybody's ass, and people are laughing at them, and they shouldn't be. Y'all don't know what the hell you're doing. You can, connive and scheme and show up late to the wars and make it seem like you did something, but when you're actually put on the front lines to actually gain the respect that you want, you don't know what the fuck to do with it. You're sitting around there making threats that people know you're not going to keep, so you look like even more of a fool. I don't know. I'm done with the phrase. They need to just get wiped out, and the twins need to go to, I don't know, someone else. I don't know who, but not the phrase. They need to get out of there. They don't deserve it.
Sphinx, are you done patrolling cyberspace? Are we good?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm sorry, guys, but we have a troll.
Oh, no, it's okay. You guys something in the chat, so I'm glad.
Everybody watching and listening, or people watching this after the fact, and we have all these weird silences. We have a troll situation, and I like to attack it and take care of it right away, so that person's not continuing to post derogatory stuff in the chat for people to see. So I just try to handle it right away. So if you see me dip out randomly, it's because of random troll. So, where were we?
Yeah, you got to go back on patrol. Sorry.
Really?
Yep, that quick.
I'll be back.
Someone has stolen LT Giles' name. I will carry on.
You know what? We must ridiculous. Be doing a hell of a job, though, Candace and Sphinx, for this one dude to be coming in like all the time, so hard, and coming in with.
He's just a fucking loser, man. What a loser.
Friends, like.
Life. Move on.
Just yeah. Anyway, where we going?
He's got his profile pic. That's pretty hero. Go on. Okay.
Where are we going next?
Okay, we're east. And where do you? You want to kick it off, Alicia, or you want me to kick it off?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. All right, so we're in Volantis. We get the Ironborn ship stopped at what looks like a really Essos-looking building, which turns out to be a whorehouse. And we get Theon still sitting there. I really hate to see this. I know he can't just turn around and be strong with Theon again, but he's still kind of freakish. He's over there nervous. He's just shook. He's like, oh my God, my uncle's got to be right behind us. I just know he. And Yara, I really hate the fact that they switched her storyline to this. She's a lesbian in the show, and I have no problems with that, but it's just not what she was in the book. She actually had a pretty sexy dude that she was cheating on her husband with in the books. And it's like, come on, did they have to do that for the show? Is it going to matter later? I don't think it's going to matter. I think it was a shock value situation, and that's the only reason I don't like it, because it wasn't, if it doesn't pay off somewhere, I don't understand it. But, so she's making out with a chick, and that's what we saw on the preview. And I thought she was going to tell her that wasn't her bag, but she was into it, like way more into it. The actress went full on in there, boobs and nipples and whatnot, and I was like, whoa, that just happened. So she pushes her off so she can give her brother a pep talk, and she's like, I'll holler at you later, tight ass. She pumps Theon up, I think, with some good motivational words, because she's been pretty tough on him, but she basically says, like, dude, if you're not going to kill yourself, live. Decide to get your old self back. She does his little slow motion head raise up, and he nods his head when she says, "Are you with me?" And that was good filming. I like that moment. And then she walks off and goes to get some. So that's the synopsis of the Volantis scene, and that's all I got. What you guys got?
Okay. The second part of that scene was gold. I love that. You know, Theon needed to really have the sit down and come to Jesus speech. Like, bro, if you gonna do this, then let's fucking do this the way it should be done. Otherwise, you're wasting my time, you're wasting your time, you know, slit your wrists and be done with it. We can't have you moping around. You're fucking Ironborn. Get your shit together. So, that part I'm great with. But now, The beginning of that scene though, I can't tell D&D how many seats they need to have on that bullshit. I mean, it's no secret. I'm a lady-loving lady. I love seeing the ladies love on each other, but you do not put a fucking poser on my team just for fucking shock value. For one, Yara loves the sausage. That's not her character, and putting someone in that position just to say, oh my gosh, there's girls kissing, it's fucking stupid. And just, I like I said last night, I can't with that shit at all. I dislike when they do things like that, and of all the travesties that D&D has done for this season, that right there is my number one. I mean, they took her completely out of character. I don't mind revamping the way a character is looked at from the books. You know, I'm not a book purist, but that is something that they just should not have done. It doesn't fit with Yara's character any which way, shape, or form. And I don't like it. That's all I can say about it. I can't.
I agree. I totally agree. I think it's kind of what they did with Loris. We had some hints that he had a relationship and affection for Renly, but they cheapened his character, and I don't mean that in the way of his orientation, but they gave him only his relationship factor with Renly, and there was no evidence that he was as tough as he is and formidable in the show that they have in the book. And they're doing a similar thing with just kind of giving us this reason to have a thrill for Asha. She's a tough chick. She's already interesting to me because she's standing up for stuff and she's trying to go against the Ironborn and their savage kind of old-ass ways of doing things. So I felt like that was an unnecessary change for her because I think she's enough without any added shock value, since that wasn't her book personality. That's my only qualm with that. I totally agree with you. Let's just not do this for shock. Let's give her a reason to be doing what she's doing.
Yep, totally agree. Sphinx, what you got?
What are we talking about? I'm sorry, guys.
The ridiculousness of Yara.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. It irks my life. Here's what irks my life about it. Why can't she just be strong and powerful and not totally feminine and still just be a woman that likes men? Why does she have to be gay to be that? Like, it's saying you can't be what she is. I'll use the word strong, physically strong, a capable commander, and all those things, and also still be fully rounded, like in the ways of feminine, you know, to be fully rounded feminine, where you also like penis. Nope, she has to like vagina, because she has to be a guy. She has to be a guy with a vagina, because she can't just be herself. She can't just be her vagina, you know, on its own. And it would have been different if in the books that's fine, that's what she was. But in the book she likes the D. She likes the D. She gets the good D from Cal the Maid, who I'm kind of sad he's not in the show, because that would have been kind of cool. But, like, you know, she's drinking moon tea, you know, she turns up, she gets it in. And then, you know, they're like, well, we're going to make her like girls, and they kind of also forgot to mention that Dany dabbles in the ladies, but can't have that because she's going to be a strong, powerful queen. She can't like girls because that just doesn't fit our archetype or whatever we're trying to create. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually think if they had mentioned Dany's lesbian activity in the bedroom with, who was it, G Queen? If Dany had any inclination, she knows she can't have kids, maybe she's like bisexual or she was a lesbian, it could totally work that we find out Yara likes women and that they kind of power couple in a, they're obviously not doing this, but she could have some benefit to Dany relationship-wise that Dany's not finding in where she is. And she doesn't really want to have a family. She thinks she's barren. It would work out that they could be a power ruling couple that don't seem to be a couple but could be doing that. But I can't see what. It just lends nothing to the show. I'm going to, but if that's not what's happening, it was a waste of a scene in some seconds. We could have got something else going on there. I'm ready to move on if y'all are.
Yep, I'm good. I'm done ranting about that.
All right. My girl, Braavos. We are still in the East. Are we ready?
Yes.
Does anybody else want to start talking about Arya?
Nope, you're the moderator. This is what you do.
All right. All right. I drink and I know things. All right. So Arya, oh God, I'm sorry, I'm missing this. Arya helps. Here's people saying the Iron Fleet is in Slaver's Bay, which I thought was a good segue from the Iron Fleet being in Slaver's Bay. She kind of perks her ears up. She's good at this point. She's used to hearing what's going on. And she walks up and says, "You're Westerosi." And the guy's like, they're always treating her like shit. Fuck do you care? You know, get away from us, you little wench. We don't want any oysters, crabs, and cockles. She throws in some coin and she's like, "I want to ride. I'm coming with you." And he tries to give her a BS hammock. She's like, "No, I toss him another bag of coins." And he looks at her like, cries. She takes it back and she's like, "I'll be back." He says, 2 days. She's like, "No, tomorrow." So I love that she went out and got what she wanted. Then we see her going off to kind of look and say goodbye to Braavos as she's looking at the Titan of Braavos. And the waif old ass comes up as an old ass lady, and I knew it when I saw this old ass lady, because people in Braavos are assholes. They don't just stop and talk. I'm going to reference another big city like Los Angeles. People talk to strangers. They're assholes in Braavos, and I'm going to get to that at the end of this. So here comes this lady, and she shanks Arya. She shanks my girl on the yard, slits her across the abdomen, and then stabs her what I think was 2 times in there, and kind of slightly turned it with a little smug, satisfactory look on her face as she snaps the face off. She's bitch. I mean, I literally yelled at the TV. I fucking hate the waif. I can't say it enough. Again, Braavos sucks. Arya comes out of the water, and nobody helps her. Where is she going? That's the synopsis of that. Come on, people.
So, I don't know. It seemed odd. I've heard theories today. I listened and I get it. There's lots of theories, Candace. You stayed offline today, so you don't even know like the theories, the tinfoil that's going around about this. But I was kind of I don't really buy that. I'm sorry.
Is it tripping you up that much?
No, the chat is tripping me up. I have a hard time with this. I'm sorry. I just have a hard time believing that Arya would just walk around all willy-nilly, you know, tossing bags of money around, not trying to hide, knowing she just escaped from the Faceless Men, because apparently on the show you have to escape, because in the book you can just leave whenever you want. So, I don't know. There's lots of tinfoil. Alicia, have you heard any of it? Do you buy into any of it?
I have heard a few things since this morning. The one that stands out the most to me, and only because I don't see it happening in any way, shape, or form, is the Fight Club scenario. And it just...
That's actually my favorite one.
Really? I don't like that one. I can't get down with that one. It would be interesting, I suppose, but I am not down with Arya is the waif, and the waif is just a personality that's in her head. They've showed, like I'm thinking of Fight Club and how that worked with Tyler Durden and Edward Norton's character, and it doesn't seem like Jaqen and other people have seen them together. Like, is Jaqen really just going to stand there and watch Arya fight herself and not say anything? That doesn't seem like it fits to me.
Yeah.
I do like the other one where because I've always thought that from the whole beginning with the plaything that it was really the waif that was being tested more so than Arya. So I do think it's possible that the Arya that we saw got stabbed was actually Jaqen wearing Arya's face. He told the waif specifically, don't let her suffer, and what is the waif going to do? Of course, she has to have her fun with it and stab Arya up instead of just, like, I don't know, slitting her throat and giving her a quick death or stabbing her in the back of the head or something. She did it to where Arya would suffer and die, but that didn't happen. And I don't know, that that seems a lot more plausible than Arya having the waif be a personality in her head.
So why would he put himself in a position to get killed? Like, he just got, if that's him, he just got stabbed the hell up in all his gut and abdomen area. You know, I don't understand why he would put himself and be like, my test is going to be if she kills me the wrong way. You know?
Because it's Jack, and he doesn't always do shit that makes sense. And it's D&D. They rarely do shit that makes sense anymore. I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's tinfoil. It's just a feeling, and I'm probably wrong about it, just like half of the other tinfoil that I come up with. But it seems just, I don't know, the whole situation just seems real sketchy to me. And of course it could be another case of us fans overthinking things and rethinking and wishing that something would happen, but I don't know. I don't see Arya going down like that. I mean, she's walking around Braavos with like not a care in the world. I mean, her whole demeanor, we've never seen Arya like that. Even when she thought she was about to go into any good situation or get away with something, she's never had that demeanor about herself. The way she was walking, she basically looked like a little female Ned. I mean, her and Jon are rocking the same hairstyle now as their father, and Arya's walking around like he used to with her hands behind her back, no needle anywhere, like you're not hiding from people and running for your life. That doesn't seem like Arya. I don't know, but again, like I said, I could totally be overthinking everything.
Well, let me take a second to explain it to Candace, who has been in the dark all day, or anybody else watching this that has not heard the theories. The two we're talking about is that one, Jaqen, when Arya was stabbed, that Arya we saw walking around, that's not Arya, it's Jaqen wearing her face. And he's doing it as a test to see, you know, he told the waif to make sure Arya doesn't suffer, so he's pretending to be Arya so he could see, you know, if waif is going to do what he said. Which I think is silly, just because he could just watch. Like, he doesn't have to get stabbed and killed. But that's just my thought. And then the other one is the Fight Club theory, which is that Arya and the waif are the same person, two different personalities inside of Arya's mind. So there's Arya, and then the waif who's trying to kill Arya, which I think is to make her no one. If it was a thing, Arya's personality split, and she's got this other side that's trying to make her become no one, and she's fighting against it the whole time. And the whole time, the waif is telling her, "You're not one of us. You can't do this. Go home. Leave, leave, leave." It's like her conscience, you know, like telling her, "You don't belong here. Just go," and trying to do whatever she can to get her to go. And then maybe her stabbing her, you know, is the waif finally, or her other consciousness saying, okay, fine, the waif is going to take over, and you're really going to become no one, and Arya's going to be gone. But Arya still fights that side of her because she can't let go. So that's the other theory. I think there's one more, but I can't think of it right now. But those are the two. What do you think of those, Candace?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. Those are, I'm glad I stayed offline today because I would have skewed everything I saw. I picked up none of those, but I did think she was behaving oddly. I thought she was behaving kind of monotone for how I thought she'd be after she realized she was still herself. There was some weird behavior, but I don't understand those fully enough to say I agree or disagree with them. I'm super tinfoil theory lover, so I never say never, but I don't understand those enough. I thought I was. Apparently I missed them. I don't understand the comparison there. But I get what you guys are saying. I can't even speak on that. This is all new to me. I stayed off since last night's episode, went straight to sleep. I have lots of reviews to watch tomorrow, but I've never heard of them, so I'm kind of too fresh to speak on it.
So we can go ahead and move on to the next area. Do we have another area left?
We don't. That's the end. And my finishing question was, where's Arya going? Like, what happens after you get stabbed about the abdomen? And Braavosi people don't give a shit.
They don't get. That's part of the theory is that the Tyler, Durden thing is like everybody just watched her get beat the hell up, and nobody ever tried to step in. And the thought is that she looked more like when she was fighting and the waif disappeared, and she was just like swinging, in the air. That's really what she's been looking like this whole time. But we would also have to explain why the freaking Jockin just let her talk to herself and fight herself all the time, and why you want somebody like that on your team. I don't know.
But did she have like evidence to ask with him? Did she have like, was she physically beaten up at any point?
Hmm?
Did she have black eyes and stuff? I mean, does this include physical evidence of, on the contrary? I felt like she was beaten up.
No, like Fight Club.
She ran herself into the walls and she like kicked her own ass with a stick and.
Yes.
I think there's so many weird things that happen on the show. You really can't say that that's not it, but that's a weird one. I just want to believe that Arya's Arya and she's done with this shit and she's going home. Because that was my finishing. If the way thinks she killed her and Jockin's okay with that, she goes back to the house black and white and says, I killed her, she didn't suffer, and nobody's looking for Arya, and she can move on to the plot that she was meant to have, to go kick some ass in Westeros. That's the theory, but I don't want that to happen. I just want her to go home, and I don't want anybody coming after her.
I just thought of another point that reminds me of this theory. Maybe it was last season when, they were referring to her and Arya Stark as two different people. Like Jockin comes in the room and he's like, these are Arya Stark's things. Like, what are you doing with these things? And perhaps she was in her waif persona at that time. And, I don't think they did that this season, referred to Arya Stark and the waif as two different people. Jockin did. But he used to say, even she said it herself, she was like, Arya Stark killed, when she killed Meryn Trant, she said Arya Stark did it. And it seems like possibly like she was in her waif mindset coming back, and he's like, what happened? And she's like, Arya Stark killed, such and such. And, like, you're in trouble now. There was a lot of that third person referencing, which could have been the start of the dime dropping about split personalities. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Jockin refers to himself in third person all the time, too, though. He has...
Well, they say a man and a girl, but they don't say, like, a name. He doesn't say Jockin Hagar is hungry, or Jockin Hagar, he'll say a man. But Arya Stark has been either Arya Stark or a girl. And maybe a girl is waif. I don't know.
We'll see next episode. There is going to be a round 2.
Ooh, good point. I'm sorry. Dang it. We got to let this go. But Moji just said, the waif always walks away when Jockin shows up. And that's true, too. Always.
But like one of the last times, though, when, the waif was saying all that stuff to Arya, and Jockin was like, she has a point. So if he was only seeing just one person, how does that work?
But it was him seeing Arya as the waif. Like, he knows she split off. He may have even been the one to split her off. Maybe that's how the Faceless Men do it. Like, they push you to this point and give you your special little drinky drink, and it splits you off until you literally become no one. You're no one.
The red flag?
Huh?
You said drinky drink. It reminds me of the with the Nikes and the purple Kool-Aid and that one coat.
Exactly.
You just all lay down and drink it. And go to night.
The personality Kool-Aid. So you drink the personality Kool-Aid and you get 2 personalities. And it all is a matter of whether your real self or your no one self will win. And he just lets you fight it out. And he just watches. And eventually one or the other will win. You'll become no one or you'll stay yourself. How can you become this assassin who has no feelings or cares in the world? How do you just become no one and literally be no one. And not, it's hard for me to wrap my head around it. No matter how much you beat me with a stick, I'll just say the words I'm supposed to say. No matter how long I'm blind, I'll just do what I'm supposed to do. But in my heart, you can't change my heart. You can't change who I am in my soul unless I've got some kind of psychotic break. That's my thoughts.
I do want to say that Arya is a little bit off her rocker for a child of her age due to things that she's seen. She's colder than normal. She has blocked her emotions. She has a big emotional wall up so she doesn't break down and fall apart, and her survival instincts are strong. But I got to wrap my hands around this. I never really thought about the fact that she could be split personality all this time in the way that exists. I do want to say, though, that in my opinion, almost every strong government has assassins, depending on what entity we call them, that do things like that. Not as mystical as the Faceless Men, but people do exist to take out other people in a no-frills, zero-fucks kind of way. So it's not impossible for her to forget who she is to do her as an organization. I just extra tinfoil about it and that she's just going home and nobody's coming after her, but I like these ideas. I feel like that could be a whole other discussion, and so I can't wait to watch the videos and see what people are saying about these theories from last night.
Okay. So that was our last region. We've covered it all. Does anybody have any last ideas or thoughts? I have a couple of questions that actually I'll just go ahead and knock these out and get them out the way. The first one I have is from Ion Trone. Are we going to get an Arya resurrection to match Jon's? So I assume that's presuming that Arya's dead. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Alicia.
I'm sorry, I was typing a message to James and Mo. What was the question again, please?
Okay, so the question is, are we going to get an Arya resurrection to match Jon's? And that's from Ion Trone, but I'm thinking that's assuming that Arya dies. So I guess the first step is, do you think she's going to die? And if she does, will she get resurrected?
Huh. I don't see that in the cards for Arya. And, well, I know she's not going to die, at least for another episode, it seems, because she's already in the preview. We're going to see her again. But do they do any type of resurrection things in Braavos? Like, is anyone there that could do it if that did happen? I mean, it seems like she's going to get patched up a little bit. Maybe not fully healed, but she's going to be patched up when she has her parkour scene jumping out that window. So I don't see why that would need to happen with Arya.
And I'll just say that I just remembered my third theory is that this whole sequence was a dream. And it wasn't real. And I actually bought into that way more because I know this epic fight with the waif is coming up where Arya's like, they're going hand to hand and giving her the business. And I was like, how can she fight her like that if she's all stabbed up? So I do buy into the it was a dream theory before the other Fight Club theory. Candace, what you think?
I think that's a good question on Iron Throne, but there is a House of R'hllor there. There's a lot of religious places in Braavos, but she's not been associated with anybody that could bring her back, and we're still not even sure that the Red Priestesses actually do that. As far as Mel and Jon, did she do it or did some other force do it? I really, again, I just hope it doesn't get that deep. I don't want her to die. Maybe somebody says, "Come here, little girl," and she goes up into somebody's apartment, and they take care of her for a second, bandage her up, stop the bleeding, and she pulls a foreign ultimatum and gets out of there. And maybe that's why she's jumping out the window. I assume that's her jumping out the window on the next episode. So lots of time can pass, and I just don't want it to be a dream. I don't want her to die. I just want her to get on that boat that she was about to pay for and leave.
Yeah, I need her out of Braavos and headed back home. There's plenty for her to do in Westeros. She doesn't need to stay across the Narrow Sea anymore.
Yeah, she is needed elsewhere. Okay, last question. From the Sword of the Moaning, Might be an obvious one, he says, but the hanging of the septon with the Hound, the random Riverland area, is that a foreshadowing of Lady Stoneheart? Because if he was hung by this outlaw group who apparently is the Brotherhood Without Banners, and they like to hang people with Lady Stoneheart, so does that mean, is that a foreshadowing? Candace?
I want Lady Stoneheart really badly, and when I first heard mention of the Brotherhood, I hope that they're coming back so she can come back. I do hate that they have a negative arc, and I'm not sure I picked that up in the books, that they were just killing Texans. That was weird to me, that they even pillaged the village. I thought they were like anti-fray, anti-establishment, but these are just some random people trying to live their life on the land and build what looked like a sept, and that was really kind of more bloody mummer action. So I'd be curious to see where the show takes that, and if Lady Stoneheart comes back, is she just out for everybody in their pathway? Good question.
Alicia?
Yeah, I am still hoping for Lady Stoneheart, but the half of me is wanting her, and half of me is thinking that no, she's not going to come. They're dropping a ton of hints, saying that she will be there, but I don't know. And the whole thing with the Bloody Mummers seeming the more likely people to kill that whole village also stands out to me, because why would they bring any harm to them at all if they were the Brotherhood Without Banners? That doesn't fit with their MO in the slightest. So I don't know. I can't say yes or no.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that can't be the Brotherhood Without Banners. I mean, he said the night is dark and full of terrors, so we know they follow the Red God, but maybe they're offshoot or something, or maybe the Brotherhood Without Banners has become this, and Thoros of Myr has left it, for that reason. Because I believe he abandons them in the books, if I'm not mistaken, or he's not down with what they've become. And I mean, we've been getting so much fan service. I could totally see them giving us Lady Stoneheart just because it's like the season of fan service. Like everything we've been theorizing about is literally happening this season. So why not Lady Stoneheart too? It's too easy. Just bam, knock it out. All right. We are going to wrap it up. We've been on here for an hour and a half. We've been attacked by vicious internet trolls. We have epic people in the chat room hanging out with us. Thank you so much, you guys, everybody that came to be with us live. Thank you to all of my random last-minute moderators that I had to create to help me moderate. And next week we'll be back again next Monday, and I will probably still use you guys to moderate for me because the trolling was epic, and I appreciate the hate because that means you're doing something right. My mom always said, if nobody's hating, you ain't doing something right. Didn't she say that, Candace? Candace, she said it. She did. Okay, whatever. So I'm gonna let you guys say goodbye before I sign out. Alicia, you can go first.
Okay, yes, lovely, lovely people. Oh, hey, we got one more. It came out just to say goodbye. Hey, thanks. Haters are our motivators.
Hey,
no.
Kyla.
But anyway, yes, guys, Alicia Kingston, thank you for listening to me and the ladies ramble. Sphinx, thank you for having me on. Candace, it's always a pleasure. If you guys want to see me in the future, obviously I'll be in the chats, and I'll be here for the duration of the season, Monday nights, with my fellow not-so-silent sisters. If you are a fan of fan fiction, then head over to fanfiction.net. You can find me under the tag name Guyana Rose. Warning, I do not write for children, and I have a very dirty mind. You have been warned. If something is too explicit for you, well, I don't know what to tell you. If you're a Walking Dead fan, head over to the channel The Walking Bread. Working with the guys over there, we are doing motion comics for the whole series of The Walking Dead. I will be posting Michonne, so come show some love. And I'll be around in the chats.
North remembers?
I love that, Alicia. I got to check those out. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for sticking with us on this fine Monday night after another great episode. Thank you guys for chatting with me about this stuff. I love this. Sphinx, thank you for having me. I'll see you guys again Monday night, right? Next episode. And Valar Morghulis.
Yes. Okay, guys, before I go, I have to rattle off the future things coming up for me and the Hypes Watch. So tomorrow is Tuesday. You can catch me on Kyles Fookin Chickens. We'll be doing the Sphinx and the Chicken, our review episode. On Thursday, What's the Difference with James Bichelle. That's on James Bichelle's channel, where we talk about all the differences between the books and the show. And this time we're talking about Marine. It's actually our part 2 because Marine was just so different. We couldn't do it in one part. On Friday, Don the Kraken Witt always has an episode review that he does. Sunday, the Hypes Watch has their weekly Q&A. Check that out on the Hypes Watch channel. God, there's more. Every Sunday, Tony Teflon with the pregame show. Check that out on Teflon TV. And the Clash of Queens is coming up, where myself, T-Baby, SweetYFT, and Nico, a.k.a. Tina Foyle, answer some very in-depth Q&A questions, and that will also be on SweetYFT's channel, I believe, or possibly the Hypes Watch. But just subscribe. Just freaking subscribe so I can post updates and you can get it all, because it's a lot. There's a lot going on right now, and it's such an exciting time. We only have a few episodes left. It went by so fast. But
It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad thinking about how we only have a few more times to talk about new shows.
we waited a year for this, and then it's just like gone.
Over in the blink of an eye.
I know. So follow me on Twitter.
Heartbeat.
Huh?
I said it's over in half a heartbeat.
Yeah, it really is. All right, I'm peacing out. Follow me on Twitter at C_the Sphinx. And to all the haters and the trolls, thanks for the view. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my other videos. You can troll there, and I'll get another subscriber. I'm just playing. Don't do that. I hate you. Okay, thanks everybody for watching. Bye.
Bye, you guys.